Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Fluctus channel. The President of the United States is considered by many to be among the most important public figures in the world. For this reason, the President's advisors cannot simply let their leader travel from place to place via commercial means. In the early 20th century, the U.S. introduced the first presidential motorcade. A procession of vehicles typically accompanied by law enforcement and other security personnel. The first to benefit was William Howard Taft, but since then, every U.S. president and many other leaders have enjoyed the protection of this defensive approach to travel. A presidential motorcade serves a number of purposes. For starters, it is symbolic of the president's importance and power. Even before the invention of the automobile, politicians and celebrities often participated in parades and processions designed to invoke a sense of authority in the attending audience.
Ladies and gentlemen,
since the JFK assassination, which took place in a motorcade, the primary function of the process is to protect the president from potential threats. For this reason, modern motorcades typically include a lead vehicle, several support vehicles, and a heavily armored limousine for transporting the president. These vehicles have been constructed with various advanced security features, including bulletproof glass, armor plating, and anti-bomb countermeasures. Last but not least, the motorcade serves the practical purpose of moving the president from point A to point B quickly and efficiently. Because local law enforcement is typically involved, processions can usually bypass red lights and high traffic areas to cut down on transportation time. The Secret Service is the organization most directly responsible for protecting the U.S. President, Vice President, and other high-ranking government officials. Though they are essentially a federal law enforcement agency, they are responsible for traveling with the president to ensure his or her safety and security at all times. An advanced team of Secret Service agents will also arrive at major destinations ahead of the president so that they can have everything ready and waiting. This includes unloading all the necessary vehicles, weaponry, and other equipment for the upcoming operation. Every city, street, and event presents a unique challenge for the Secret Service team and its presidential motorcade. In order to ensure smooth, safe transportation for the president and their team, the Secret Service will dedicate extensive resources and time to the preparation process. This includes route planning, which means evaluating any and all traffic patterns, road conditions, security risks, and potential protests or demonstrations. The advance team will also coordinate with local law enforcement, government officials, and transportation authorities to identify and mitigate any potential problems. The motorcade is generally comprised of lead vehicles, the presidential limousine, supporting vehicles, and motorcycle units. The lead vehicles are responsible for clearing the way and ensuring the route is safe. The support vehicles and motorcycles carry additional security, medical support, and personnel who can quickly adapt to potential problems or threats. Many presidential events involve more than just moving the president from one location to another. In many cases, the motorcade will be part of an enormous parade with thousands of people in attendance, bands, and other presentations going on. To properly prepare for such an occasion, the Secret Service will spend significant time gathering regarding any potential threats on a local or national level. They will also assess the route and coordinate with other law enforcement officials to establish backup plans that can be executed in the event of an emergency. The Secret Service will also conduct training exercises and rehearsals to familiarize personnel with their roles and responsibilities during the parade. This includes practicing motorcade formations, emergency response drills, and crowd control procedures. Contrary to popular belief, the name Air Force One does not always refer to a specific plane. In fact, it is the official air traffic control call sign for any United States fixed-wing aircraft carrying the president. The history of this call sign goes all the way back to the 1930s, but did not come to include any specialized aircraft until 1943. That's when President Franklin D. Roosevelt began flying on a modified Douglas C-54 Skymaster, known as the Sacred Cow. This aircraft was the first to be specifically built and equipped for presidential use, featuring an enclosed sleeping area, a radio telephone, and other amenities. By the 1990s, Air Force One was a heavily modified Boeing 747, capable of long-distance flights and possessing a variety of security countermeasures and communications equipment. This model, known as the VC-25A, boasts a max takeoff weight of 833,000 pounds, can carry 76 passengers, and contains a number of meeting and briefing rooms from which the president can conduct business. One of the most iconic Air Force One models in history was a modified VC-137C Stratoliner, designated SAM 26000. Though it was the primary presidential aircraft for several U.S. presidents, it is most commonly associated with John F. Kennedy. SAM 26000 was delivered to the U.S. Air Force in 1962 and became the first jet-powered aircraft specifically built for presidential use. It featured a distinctive blue and white design that remains a fixture in Air Force One models to this day. After Kennedy's assassination, the plane passed on to Lyndon B. Johnson, who took it to Southeast Asia on multiple occasions. In 1998, after 36 years of service, SAM 26000 was retired. The aircraft was then moved to the National Museum of the United States Air Force in Dayton, Ohio, where it remains on display. Whenever Air Force One lands on sovereign or foreign soil, the Secret Service and local law enforcement will implement a highly detailed set of processes. Though Air Force One sometimes receives a military escort, it's more common that planes will be standing by in the event of an emergency. In many cases, the airport will set aside a block of time so that Air Force One is the only plane landing and taxiing. Providing adequate room for the Secret Service to usher the President and their entourage into the waiting vehicles. The entire process involves strict security measures and confidentiality so that bad actors have little to no chance of interfering with the President's trip. The United States generally does its best to transport foreign dignitaries and other VIPs in both safety and style. For this reason, the government has invested in a series of Gulfstream C-37 aircraft they can use to ferry personnel around the country. The typical C-37 is a business-class private jet. They are roughly 96 feet long and can carry between 15 and 19 passengers. Since both Air Force One and the government C-37s are specifically intended to carry VIPs and their staff, the United States goes to great lengths to provide these individuals with a wide range of comforts. This includes highly trained in-flight culinary specialists who essentially function as airborne executive chefs. And while safe transport from place to place is always priority number one, the United States military isn't afraid to ensure their VIPs travel in style. That's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to subscribe to this channel so you don't miss any of our new content. See you next time.